Quote, "You shall be holy because I am holy," unquote. The Mashiach, the Mashiach with S, and Sanctity. For all intents and purposes, this should suffice to prove the point that the commandment of commandments in the Torah teaching is the takeaway paradise at Genesis 1:1 Aleph of the Panacea Mashiach. The sages overlooked the past word paradise at Genesis 1:1 Aleph at the very point beginning, just like the mat at the doorstep to enter a house. Yes, there's something impersonating Lesson 101 of the Torah teaching, and as such, it's impeding it to do its wonder. So, we must dispel this masquerade. One thing I noticed was that telling the message directly of the Torah takeaway of paradise, Genesis 1:1 Aleph, wasn't getting much traction. Perhaps, by way of comparison, it would have better reception. Then I embarked on this sparring with the sages by comparing the messianism of rabbinism with our candidate Mashiachism of paradiseism. Previous to this, I had asked rabbis about the difference, and none knew there was any, other than two different words meaning the same thing of Savior. By the way, I love rabbis. It's rabbinists which I can't stand. Rabbinists were blocking the sun with one finger. Nobody noticed or else weren't paying attention, too occupied with making the most of the niceties of life. It's hard to understand how rabbinism got away with a Messiah explanation and justification for failure for so long. Actually, it was a priesthood for the first 1,000 years till the destruction of the first temple, and rabbinism for the next 2,000 years ever since till present times. This isn't for Jews only or Christians, but for everybody of any or no belief, but who are concerned or should be for the world we're leaving behind to coming generations. Messianism as a coming of a Messiah is defeatist. I'll tell you why. I ask, why creation to begin with, if it's all going to be left up to the Creator and sipped to the creative creatures? That effectively trashes the whole project of creation and by extension of civilization, its keychain version. With the Messiah, what's the purpose of civilization within creation, of the university within, ideal within the all-encompassing universe, if at the end of the day it's going to be up to outside help to make things right? Right is right no matter what, otherwise it's simply wrong under any other name. It's like raising a child and telling her or him not to worry, that there's always a fail-safe in store for the family. Instead of raising them to be self-sufficient, we raise them to be reliant on bailouts. Instead of being support for their parents as these get older, the parents are supposed to keep looking after their children, supposedly from heaven as well. Rather, it's about repenting and doing something to repair by applying paradise as Genesis 1:1 Aleph. Reliant, yes, but on deity's pardon, so we can learn by trial and error on our part as effort while taking to heart the takeaway at the point beginning. No mention is ever made in the Torah teaching of a coming alien Messiah, rather the opposite, the ever-present human Mashiach leadership, since it was made known to us at revelation to Moses at Mount Sinai of the Torah teaching. I don't know about you, but I do believe in the infallibility of the Torah, not saying that it's understandable in the least. We grow when we fathom its depth. As it rightly says in Exodus 28:3, quote, "To all who are wise of heart, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom." Therein are two subjects, the Creator GD and the creative creatures, us. So that leaves us as the only one left to blame for missing the mark of civilization. This point is made crystal clear in Leviticus 11:45 and 19:1-2, as it says, referring to us, quote, "You shall be holy, for holy I am, Yod He Vav He, your GD." The expectation is that we creative creatures be V'yitem Kedoshim, and be holy, just as He, the Creator, is Ki Kadosh, Ani, for holy I am. Notice that it's in the plural, meaning that all humanity, each and every one of us, has what it takes to be a Mashiach, human chiefs. This eliminates the idea of a one single chosen alien Savior, Messiah. One last point is a distinction that does make a difference with respect to creative creatures and the Creator is the matter of being, ser, and becoming, devenir. We, as creative creatures, are Homo sapiens, Homo P sapiens D, thanks to language R, all the while as Creator GDS. That clarified In the previous two verses, Leviticus 11:45 and 19:1-2, mention is made, Vayitem Kedoshim, and be holy. And in Leviticus 11:44 and 27, the question of Hi Kadoshtem, sanctification, is taken up. The idea is that we need to make the effort to actualize our potential of sanctity and realize it in the state of holiness. Quote, use it or lose it, to put it in lay terms. This finds expression in grammar in that holy is simple action, active voice in kal stem, all the while sanctification is causative action, reflexive voice. A little grammar will go a long way to explain this point. A good example is the verb yada. In the kal stem, the verb yada means to know, simple action, active voice. But in the piel stem, the verb yada means to make known, causative action, active voice. Thus, in the hitpael stem, the verb yada means to make oneself known, causative action, reflexive voice. What are the expectations of the Creator of his creative creatures of Adam? To answer this question, we now focus our attention. We see in Leviticus that our human character should be, quote, in his S image, D, and R likeness P, as in Genesis 1:26-27. And what is to be in his image and likeness? In one word, to be kadosh, holy. To be keychain, holy, as he is infinitely, quote, holy. This is stated in no uncertain terms, both directly by the Creator in Leviticus 1:11:44-45 and in Leviticus 27, as well as by way of the voice of Moses in Leviticus 19:1-2. In this world, words matter. When used as verbs regarding holy, D, quote, to consecrate means to, quote, declare R, something holy, whereas, quote, to sanctify means, quote, to make P holy. And the name we give to things crystallizes the concept. The name given aligns with the character, as in the characterization given in the text. In code terms, sanctification means inner, D, whereas consecration, R, means use of language, and vestments, P, is what you wear, which projects who you are under the idea of dress as what you are. In lay terms, what does to be kadosh, holy, mean? In terms of hit kadoshtem, sanctification, simply to be keychain, quote, creative creatures of whatever it is the case in civilization as the, quote, creator is regarding creation. As far as I'm concerned, this ends the discussion, period. However, due to the fact that we live in a real broken world instead of an ideal heavenly world, we must now address the underlying cause of the surmise of messianism, thanks to rabbinism. In other words, to be human, holy, kadosh, is the same thing as to be human, Mashiach, anointed. The very opposite of Mashiach is the notion of Messiah. This is nothing other than setting ourselves up for failure, being dependent on outside help, with the religious caste ruling our thoughts 24/7. To dispel the meaning of Mashiach, let's now turn to finding it in the text and in the context of human holiness. If the character to have was the Messiah, then Moses would have mentioned it in parting. Instead, it's all about the Mashiach as our better holy selves. Be it takeaway, paradise, panacea, as ways of improving ourselves, striving to meet the Creator's expectations. It's not about sitting on our hands waiting for air to reach us to breathe. We need to be self-sufficient, not waiting for aliens to resolve our issues. One last point while we're on this matter is the question of continuity. That is, Moses got it from the Creator. He passed it on to Aaron, the Kohen Hagadol, the high priest. Upon the death of Aaron, Moses was instructed by Gideon to pass it on to Eleazar, the eldest surviving son of Aaron. But this is where it gets interesting and significant to our discussion. Moses wasn't instructed this time to anoint Eleazar as Kohen Hagadol, as Kohen Gadol, high priest, rather to simply pass on the vestments of high priesthood previously worn by Aaron and now to be worn by Eleazar. This pass on is signified by the use of et, dialogue with, when referring to Moses, Aaron, Eleazar, as well as with the vestments themselves as symbols of Mashiachism, of chief leadership of the people. As refers to us, this translates that there is no need for reanointment. That is, that we don't have to be anointed again. Suffice that we do our part in being, quote, wise of heart, as cause for the effect of being, quote, filled with the spirit of wisdom. This human wisdom is none other than having in our possession the password of lesson 101 of paradise at Genesis 1:1a Aleph. But we saw previously the expectations of GD is that we be, quote, holy, small c, as he is holy, capital C. This outside the narrative archaic era to present time means that Mashiach is us, capital S, capital U, small s, any and everyone who so strives to achieve this state of awareness. This is closely related to the symbolic concept, quote, those who are wise of heart be filled with the spirit of wisdom, as we mentioned in Exodus 28:3. The vestments themselves of, quote, the breastpiece, ephod, robe, fringed tunic, headdress, and the sash are all symbolic concepts in our modern times. While this is above my pay grade, I will just the same include it in for meditation. While the Torah teaching is to be understood as paradise itself having one whole meaning, which is impenetrable, it also has a triad of meanings accessible to us. The Peshat, plain P, refers to the characters of the plot in the story, in this case to those who are going to make the vestments for the Kohen Gadol, high priest. It says that they should be of their own merit, quote, wise of heart. And if they have chosen to accept the task of making the sacred vestments, then they will be, quote, filled with the spirit of wisdom. This is expressed by the use of it, dialogue with, as DW, quote. Generally speaking, the remit or meaning highlights the dialogical relationship existing between the Creator and His creative creatures. The higher meaning of the right discovered D refers to the fact that they are making the sacral vestments. There's no plural of Mashiach, capital M, only singular. Yet there's more than one human. How can that be? Well, all the Mashiachs, small m, lowercase of humans, go to make up the Mashiach, capital M, uppercase of humanity. That is, the paradise principle applies here as well as one whole Mashiach S in triad parts PRD, Mashiach with S and small case. These are, quote, all who are wise of heart, D, whom, quote, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, are to make W, dialogue with vestments, P, crowning it all with, quote, for consecrating him to serve me as priest, S. In this world there is nothing out of this world. All that the priest uses are made by human artisans so endowed for such a unique dressing. The world is of our making. Well, that's all, people. Yours truly, Rick, your Charro Mr. T, GD Bless, Austin, Texas, capital of the world.